sauce. You know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a renaissance. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the renaissance. You know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a renaissance, man.
Well, it's the Hangar HangOut tonight, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. I'm serious, man. Some of you guys, I see y'all already in the chat. Y'all built different. Y'all built different, man. For a team that's given us so little, this fan base does everything it can to go ahead and show support, show love, and is interested in just trying to figure out how this team's going to get better. But I'm here to tell you, man. Like I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I want to be. I'm seeing the positivity, Miguel. We are built for this shit, man. I know that's what he said. I know it's what he said. Um, I think ultimately, man, it's more along the lines of Vero Beach here, who says we're still here somehow, some way, we're still kicking. Um, or perhaps we're built like shit. It's it's rough. It's rough, man. Here we are, episode 71 of the Hangar Hangout. And I got to tell you, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all support. I appreciate the love. The fact that we continue to go ahead and gather at the hangar and talk about this team time and time and time again. It's a testament as to why this fan base doesn't deserve us. And yet they continue to show us week in and week out that maybe we are the insane ones. Maybe we're the ones that are wrong in the situation because we keep expecting different results by doing the same thing over and over again and supporting and rooting for this team, and yet they've not given us a reason to in 15 years. 15 years, man. This team has been dead and buried, and lately we're dead and buried, and we're still freaking getting kicked down. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? You got Todd McShay, Stephen A. Smith running their mouth. Everybody and their mom apparently has an opinion about the New York Jets, and I understand the stigma of going after the New York Jets. I get that. That just makes sense, right? The organization is being run amok, as they say. But what do we do as fans to deserve this? Like you're not just wishing evil and bad on the Jets organization. You're wishing it on a fan base who's very, very passionate, who's all about the game, who's just hoping for the day that we can actually watch games in December and it actually matter for something. So yeah, it's a tough one, man, because this is 15 years now. 15 years. Shout out to Nate Jets, man. 11 months, Gunny Fire team member, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for a fun fantasy season. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Nate. I'm still waiting on getting Dark Soldier, the jersey swap that he wanted, because originally it was going to be an autographed Sauce Gardner jersey, right? But Sauce is no longer a Jet. He made a request. My guy says he can probably pull it off for me, so I'm just waiting for the final confirmation, and I'm going to send that out. So, Nate, hopefully you do it again next year, man. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you for being a member of the Fire team. Jesse was good. What's up, brother, man? Nice to see you as well. Welcome to the Hangar Hangout, man. It's a gloomy one, man. So today's January 7th, 2026, right? So 2 days ago was Black Monday. But once again, at One Jets Drive, it was just another Monday of doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. The Jets are sitting on their hands, smelling the roses of a 3-14 season. Now, we knew this was going to be the case, right? I don't think any of us really thought that the Jets were going to go ahead and make the smart decision and fire Aaron Glenn. I know a lot of us want to see that happen. Some of us think those of us who want to see that happen are just being a little bit negative, you know what I'm saying, being pessimistic and give AG one more year to see what he's really about. But I think the majority of us have seen enough bad football to know what bad football looks like. And what we saw this past year, man, this past season is just historically bad. Like, it's gross football. Like, I don't even know if bad is really a term for it. So for Black Monday to come and go and this Jets organization has still remained intact is it shouldn't be a shocker, but it just goes to show that it's just more of the same old Jets. More of the same old Jets. Big Will, what's up, man? How you doing, Doc? Rumor is more doesn't come out because he doesn't want to be a Jets. Would you draft someone that shows the satisfaction to play for you? Okay, so I've heard this, Big Will. I don't believe that's the case. I think that's a lot of what we're hearing based off of the media, the wannabe analysts who are spewing that crap. Talking about like hey, he shouldn't come out. Moore himself hasn't come out and said anything like that. I haven't seen anywhere where he said that specifically. But if you're a kid coming into the NFL and you don't believe in yourself enough to go ahead and be the reason a franchise changes around, then sure, I don't want you. Like if you don't think you're that dog, if you don't think you're an alpha, you don't have that alpha mentality that you can come in here and be the reason an organization gets better. Because let's be honest, if you're getting drafted high in the NFL draft, it's because your team is bad. Like there's what team is considered good between picks 1 and 10. Don't count the Rams because they swapped out with the Falcons obviously for that draft pick, but your team is bad. So if you're going to play in the NFL, the hope would be or the desire is that you're going to be the reason the team gets better. This is why we're going to pay you freaking $50 million guaranteed. This is why you're considered a first overall pick because of your talent. You're supposed to have that dog in you, and if you don't have that dog in you, very well, I don't want you because clearly you're not the guy we're looking for anyway. So I have not heard Dante Moore specifically or anything remotely about it coming out of his camp that he's scared to come be the reason that the Jets wind up changing things. But if that is the case, nah, I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't think anybody should be in the NFL that doesn't believe they're good enough to impact wins and losses. I'm sorry. If you can't impact the win column and you're coming out, then why are you wasting your time? Obviously, you're going to get a check, right? But if you're not coming in here to be the top or the best of the best, right, the top of your craft, what's the point? So I don't want him if that's the case. I haven't heard that, but again, I'm not that high on Dante Moore like most people are anyway. I believe he'd be the second best quarterback option in this draft class, but I just have a lot of reservations in terms of one coming out of Oregon. Two, the limited freaking sample size, right? And a lot of people keep talking about how like he's this athletic freak and stuff like that. And I'm with Buffalo on this one because I've said this before to somebody and I got roasted for not watching the games. But the other day, Buffalo on his show was talking about it as well, and he feels the same way. And I think a lot of people are he's not really an athletic freak. Like there's nothing really special about him athletically. So the whole aspect that he's listen, Dante Moore is clearly going to be the number 2 quarterback that gets taken out of this draft. Hey, maybe he plays well enough in the playoffs this weekend. If he beats freaking, you know what I'm saying, Indiana, does he become the guy they're looking at for number 1 if he beats freaking Fernando Mendoza? I don't know. But yeah, man, like if that is true, then nah, Big Will, I don't think it's worth it for any team to draft a guy with that kind of a mentality to begin with, but let alone ourselves. What's up, Johnny boy? Nice to see you in the chat, brother. No one can accuse us of being bandwagon fans out bleeding green. Yeah, nah, that asks. There's no reason you joined this team because of its winning legacy, right? Like you don't follow this team because of all the joys it's brought you throughout your life. Like, that's not what we've gotten. If you're a Jets fan, man, you're legitimately a Jets fan and you're a fan of football. And this just happened to be the team that we picked, and we're gonna ride and die with this team until we're dead. I'm hoping we get to see a Super Bowl in our lifetimes, but with Woody Johnson at the helm, I just don't know. Sean McHater, what's up, brother? Wouldn't be as big a deal if there weren't so many options for head coaches this year. Just man, I'm glad you said that, man. And I think for me, this is why I'm going down this rabbit hole for this podcast. And by rabbit hole, I'm talking about the fact that you look at the names on the street right now. It's a literal who's who of coaching. John Harbaugh is out in Baltimore, a man with a Super Bowl ring and 180 wins. He has a 62 percent win percent. This guy went 12, 10, I'm sorry, 12, 13, 10, and 8 in the last 4 years, and he just got fired because his kicker couldn't kick a 42-yard field goal. Right. And if you look at some of these losses they've had over the last 4 years, man, I don't think any of that is on coaching. Like you're talking about, pick sixes by Lamar. You're talking about fumbles on the goal line by Zay Flowers. You're talking about Mark Andrews not catching a 2-point an easy pitch 2-point conversion to win the game. You're talking about a 42-yard field goal being missed by freaking their kicker. Like I don't know how you look at that over the last 4 years and you're like, yeah, nah, John, you're the problem, right? They've been unfortunate. They've been unlucky. I'll give you that. But the fact that John Harbaugh got fired, man, it's crazy to me. But then you also got a guy like freaking, Kevin Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year. Like he got fired in Cleveland. Brian Dable, who, listen, I still believe in terms of it. I believe in his offensive prowess. I think he's still got that. But boom, he's gone from the Giants. You got Raheem Morris out in Atlanta, Jonathan Gannon, I think it was, out of Arizona. Pete freaking Carroll, Hall of Famer, got a 1 year with the Raiders, and they realized it wasn't going to work, and they cut bait. They cut bait. The Raiders were like, yeah, this ain't going to work, man. You're not it. You've lost a step or you've lost it, whatever it is. They cut bait. But we got to give 3-14 Aaron Glenn, who showed us nothing throughout the entire season, another year where Hall of Fame Hall of Fame coaches are getting chopped. So I think you're right, Sean. I think it makes it worse because we're seeing other teams take action, and yet here we are. Now, another thing that kind of worries me the most is, I don't know if y'all have heard this or not, but like John Harbaugh, like the Dolphins are apparently making calls to the Harbaugh camp. Like, could y'all imagine if John Harbaugh comes to Miami and it's Vrabel, it's Harbaugh? I don't know if the coach and freaking the Bills are going to stick around, whether or not, because if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, or at least get there with the depleted AFC, I think he might be getting fired. But like Harbaugh and Vrabel alone puts us looking at the bottom, looking up at everybody else in the division, right? That's frustrating. And we don't make the call. Like, all these seats are open, right? All this talent is available, and Woody Johnson is standing there like a statue, telling us that Aaron Glenn is the future. like we haven't we haven't called Harbaugh. We are the only team in the NFL that sees a burning building and decides to buy more badges. Hell, word on the street is that if the Dolphins do get him, or the Dolphins called him, they were ready to let go of McDaniel, who, mind you, they've kind of quietly shifted around, not saying anything about him. So they're willing to let go of McDaniel, which of course it hasn't worked out for him. Again, granted, I think a lot of that has to do with Tua. I think McDaniel is one of those guys who has the offensive prowess or an ability to be a head coach in the NFL. But again, he's probably going to have to earn that right again. But we're going to be very comfortable in the AFC East basement, bro. If John Harbaugh winds up going to the Miami Dolphins, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, and I think that's the frustrating part about this entire process is us sitting here, Black Monday going by, and the majority of us are just hopeful that the Jets are going to make the smart choice for once. Just for once, make the smart decision, and you realize you made a mistake, Woody. You made a mistake. The majority of us were on board with you. I thought AG was going to be the savior, but the guy showed us absolutely nothing all year. Absolutely nothing. Nothing for us to go into this offseason and kind of hold on to and say, well, at least, he did this well or he did that well. I see a bunch of people on social media coming for Jake Asman because he's mentioned this. Like, what has he done? For those of us who want to keep him, what has he done well? And somebody says, oh, well, special teams was great. Well, let's not forget that he wasn't the one that I believe made that pick, right? So the Banjo hire came from a recommendation that he got from his number one. I'm having a brain fart right now, but it wasn't his like brainchild. Banjo was recommended by why am I having a I'm having a brain fart right now. Okay. It'll come to me in a second here. But in terms of special teams, our legend special team coach. Somebody help me out here. Who am I? I'm forgetting the name, but we all know him. He's the one that recommended Banjo to Woody because he said he wasn't coming back out of retirement, and Woody wound up hiring Banjo. And for some reason, I'm having a brain fart and I can't remember who it is, and this is embarrassing because like he's one of our he's a beloved coach within this organization. But nevertheless, you're seeing a lot of people, they can't tell you what he's done well, but they're coming for freaking Jake for saying what the majority of people are thinking. Thank you, Vero. Westoff. Wow. I don't know why that was so hard. But yeah, so Westoff was the one that actually recommended to AG to give Banjo the job, right? So that to me, I'm not giving credit to AG for that. I'm giving that to Westoff. You listened to an adult, and that adult came through for you because Banjo was the only good thing that came out of this coaching staff. I think Tanner Angstrom has potential, but we can't really judge him based off of the structure of how this team was built. You lose your number one wide receiver. You don't have a quarterback, right? The running back boxes that they were facing. You also lose Braylon Allen early on, who was going to be a nice offset to be a 1-2 punch for the Brees Hall a combination. So like you look at Tanner Extra and you like some of the things you've seen, and it makes you wonder what more he has in the tank. I'll give you that. But AG has been atrocious, bro. Like there's absolutely nothing that this man has done that I can look at and say to myself, like, yeah, nah, it's exciting. It's exciting. And what makes this worse is that, like, we're going into the offseason, and of course, we're already beat. I know you guys you're defeated. We're Jets fans. We've been getting our asses kicked since freaking November, right? Like the season ended for us, honestly, in November, and we're just catching shit left and right from everyone and their mom. You got guys like freaking like clowns like McShay and Stephen A. the national media, right, so to speak, and they're just talking dumb shit just to talk dumb shit. You got McShay all over the airwaves acting like the Jets are a toxic waste dump that Dante Moore should avoid at all costs, talking about how the freaking Raiders are this freaking glorified freaking franchise, and if he's not going to be the number one overall pick, he needs to run back and stay in college because the Jets are a freaking dumpster fire. We're the organization that's jack shit, and we are, but the Raiders are going on their sixth head coach in the last 6 years. Like they're literally paying head coaches that they fired from 4 years ago. The Raiders have done this, but somehow, some way, like we're the shitstorm that's going to ruin a guy like Dante Moore. Honestly, man, we all know where it's coming from, bro. Like, like McShay is still crying about his college freaking buddy Joe Douglas getting fired, and that was him taking a shot at us. Because if we're being real about this, McShay and Douglas were teammates at the University of Richmond. They're best freaking buddies, right? And for years now, McShay has been the PR arm for Joe Douglas, right? Oddly enough, that Joe is gone after a 30-64 record. Like we didn't give the guy ample opportunity. McShay all of a sudden wants to burn the whole thing down. It's not analysis, man. Like Todd McShay, if somehow you see this, man, it's a temper tantrum because your friend lost his keys to the building, and it's kind of sad for a grown man to be throwing that tantrum like that, and then try to backpedal, talking about like that's not what I said. What I said was shut up, bro. That's what you said. We all heard it. We all clipped it. It's what you said. I'm agitated right now because the Jets are already down. Like we're down and out. Like the fan base has done nothing wrong for this team to continuously suck. I mean, the Jets are, I think, a top 5 franchise in terms of overall valuation because of who? Because of us. Like, I only imagine if the Jets were good. Imagine if because the Patriots got their bandwagon fans, you know what I'm saying? All these teams, the Chiefs, they're bandwagon fans. These are fake fans that came out because you know what? It's fun to root for a winner, right? If the Jets started winning, the real fan base alone would put millions upon millions of dollars into the NFL. I mean, I'm buying more tickets to go to games. You're buying more tickets to go to games. We're gonna buy more swag. I'm buying playoff tickets. Like the amount of money the NFL would get, the ROI, the return on investment, if the New York Jets were a good NFL team, is ridiculous. Because look at the ROI they're getting now, and they're a shit show. Absolute shit show. Speaking of shit shows, you got bums like freaking Stephen A. Smith. By the way, shout out to my boy Garrett Wilson for calling a scrub a scrub. Love to see that earlier today in terms of Twitter, and he, of course, tagged First Take on it as well. Love that. But he's on First Take saying that he'd eat something to get like food poisoning or something before he had to play a game for the Jets. Like the same guy who flip-flops every week based on who's winning, obviously, right? It's easy to kick us while we're down. But Stephen A., the take is an analysis, man. It's just performance art. Like the dude's a clown. Like he's here to entertain and entertain only, and I don't think he knows this. You've never played football before. You don't know football, right? You're a basketball guy. You're a semi-basketball guy, giving these kind of ridiculous takes, and it's all just taking shots at a team, at an organization clearly in the dumps, a fan base clearly in the dumps. Like we don't need you to let us know how bad we know. We know. I don't know how many of y'all saw this, man. I'm watching the freaking Steelers Ravens game on Sunday night, and then it gets to the halftime show, and they're talking about freaking, Garrett, Myles Garrett getting the freaking, sack record, and then they put on a graphic talking about, hey, there was another record, you know what I'm saying, for the 2025 season. What quarterback is this? And it's a quarterback that has like 36 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, uh, 3,800 something yards, like a 104 quarterback rating and whatnot. Like, I'm sitting there like, man, 0 interceptions, that's crazy. That's nobody in the NFL threw. And then it hit. I was like, wait, they wouldn't talk about the Jets right now. And sure enough, it's the freaking New York catching strays on a Sunday night football game. And this is the team that's been dead for months. Why are we like why dead for months? And it's just so easy. And because why? Everybody knows that when you talk shit about the Jets, we the fans, we come out the woodworks. We do. We come out the woodworks, man. We'll defend this team, even though we know this team is trash. Like, it's the same thing like being in the military, right? So in the military, we'll talk shit to each other. But Marines talk shit to the Army talk shit to the Air Force, Navy. Like, we all talk shit to each other, right? And it's cool. It's known that's going to happen. But the moment like a civilian talks shit about one of the branches, like, it's like, nah, you ain't. That's not how this is gonna work. You're not one of it. You can't do that. You're not one of us. That's how we feel as Jets fans, right? Like, we are so protective of this freaking team, even though they've done nothing to earn our loyalty like this. Like, they've continued to kick us in the balls or chest or whatever, just kick us consistently, and we continue to show up. We continue to get in front of a camera and talk about this team. We talk about how it could potentially get better with the draft coming up, and if AG makes the right hire as a DC, what change are gonna make there? Like, we're looking for the just the inkling of hope that this thing can turn around. And what's gonna happen? By the time the preseason comes around, we're all motivated again. We're ready to have our hearts broken once again. We're gonna be buying tickets. We're buying merch. We're on Twitter talking our shit, just to be shut up by October. By October, we're all quiet. You know what I'm saying? We're all just hoping to see some good, and that's why we don't want nobody else talking shit about our team. Like, we'll do it. We got it. Trust me. We do it plentiful. We don't need anybody else jumping in. And so that's the frustrating part, man. Like, we've just become a freaking punchline. It's beyond infuriating. And then there's the gaslighting crowd. So it's not just the keep the AG crowd. It's not just the media talking they shit just to talk they shit because we're easy clicks, right? Because they know we're going to engage. There's the gaslighting crowd too. There are people that are LOLing just because Sam Darnold is no longer with us, because Aaron Rodgers was let go, because Robert Saleh was let go. Why are we bypassing the fact that, like, Sam Darnold was on the Panthers? Sam Darnold was on the 49ers. He was on the Vikings. In fact, for the Vikings, he 14 win season. He had like 40 something. They let him go to where now he's in Seattle, and they got the number 1 seed in the NFC. Like, why aren't those guys catching clout? Like, it didn't just go from Jets to the Seahawks, and all of a sudden he's a stud. He stopped it with the Panthers. He stopped with the 49ers and with the the Vikings. But LOL Jets. It's just too freaking easy, man. It's just too freaking easy. Now we have the Aaron Rodgers was the savior crowd, right? Like they're coming out the woodworks. Like, have y'all seen the Steelers lately? Like, because I watch Steelers games, man. My brothers-in-laws are Steelers fans. My mother-in-law is a Steelers fan, so I watch those games. And they limped into the playoffs with Rodgers looking every bit a 42-year-old quarterback. Like, those who are watching like the highlights whenever he does complete a pass here and there, like, that's not the story. That's not what's really happening in these games. Like, he's averaging like 2.5 seconds to throw because he can't move, and the media's acting like he's 2011 MVP Aaron. They're going to go to Houston. They're going to go to Houston next week, right? This weekend or whatever, or is Houston going to them? No, Houston's going to them. Either way, it doesn't matter. They're going to play Houston, and they're going to get their ass. They're going to get waxed. They are. They're going to get the doors blown off, like one and done. And that's just like the Steelers do every single year. Nothing special. Aaron Rodgers isn't special. The Steelers do exactly what they just did every single year. They won 10 games, you know what I'm saying? Because of apparently holy water or whatever. But, Ravens missed in Ravens fashion for the last 4 years. They find a way to lose that game. So the Steelers get in, they limp in, and now you go play a healthy Texans defense. Yeah, that's not going to be fun. Aaron Rodgers against that defensive line, it's not going to be fun for them. It's not. And so it's going to be one and done, and it's going to be the same story for the Steelers that we've seen every single year. Every single year. It's always the same thing. There's nothing special what they're doing right now, right? Like this is Steelers football. They win enough games to be in the hunt. They either get in or they don't, right? But they get in, and then they're out in the first round. Aaron Rodgers is going to do the exact same thing again this year. Don't get me started on Robert Saleh. Like again, hearing all the conversations about, oh man, it wasn't Robert Saleh. It was obviously the Jets. Like the media talks about him like he's a defensive genius. Now, granted, the defenses were fun. We enjoyed them, but we saw the collapse in them as the seasons progressed. Like we're not gonna forget like the rankings of his defense in the final season. Like this elite defense finished in the bottom half of the league in points allowed. They were 27th in freaking opponent yards per play. But because he does some push-ups on the sideline and gives a good presser, like we're supposed to act like he wasn't part of the problem. Like we didn't give him 4 years to kind of figure this thing out. Like that's the crazy. Like people, how we didn't give him time. Like what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to just keep? We can't move on from a coach or a GM because the media likes them. Like, and that's why this freaking sucks. But this continues to be our story because we're the Jets. This is what we do. We make it easy. We make it easy for freaking the media. We make it easy for our haters, the doubters, everyone that wants to talk shit because why? We're the New York Jets, man. And there's not much we can stand on as a fan base. We can talk about, the back-to-back AFC championship games, you know what I'm saying, in the 21st century. That's pretty much the gist of it. But we've been cursed for a long time. And here we are, man. We're going into this offseason, and I'm not as confident that things are going to change as some people are. I just don't believe we should be giving these assets to this front office and this coach. You're talking about a guy at his presser that doesn't have an idea. They don't have an idea what they're going to do. Like if you watch the pressers, it's just a bunch of like, yeah, nah, we've got a plan. We're going to figure. All right, what do you think about doing? We're going to figure this thing out. We're going to take care of this, man. You're going to see effort. You're going to see. We think we've got it all figured out. The way this is going to turn around. Really, bro? Like this is what was it? I think Jake said this shit. I was going to say it too, but trust me, bro. It's a trust me, bro. Freaking like pressers. Like, don't worry about it, man. Trust me. We're going to figure this thing out. You nothing that would warrant us to have this level of faith in you. Like, it's not difficult for you to see why as a fan base we have questions. We need answers. We can't just take your word for this because here we are sticking with Aaron Glenn while John Harbaugh is at the airport waiting for a call. Why? Because hiring a real coach means the owner has to step up, right? Like he has to step back, and means that Jack and Brick show, like Woody's kids can't run the war room if Harbaugh is the coach of this team. I really believe it starts at the top, man. I think that Woody is one of the worst owners in all of sports. The dude loves being in running his mouth in the media. His kids are apparently making decisions on who they should be cutting and who should be keeping based off of Madden ratings, and he's listening to this stuff. And I really believe until we get a new owner, we're probably going to be stuck in this state of purgatory. And this sounds very negative, man. And my intention wasn't to go ahead and jump on here and just be a negative dude the entire time. But this is in fact an obituary. This is me. This is the obituary of the 2025 season, what it might look like moving forward. And I don't get how we're here and how we can see this team, see this organization, and as a fan base, as a collective, the majority of us know, like, hey, this ain't it. We've been watching enough bad coaching and bad football to know what it looks like. And this is bad. This is really bad. This is one of the worst we've seen. And somehow, someway, this guy continues to have a job. It's crazy to me, man. Vero says, this year was to be expected, honestly. A GM and coaching staff will never admit the roster was bad, but this was purposefully rostered. There was a cleaning of the house. They shopped all our players. And see, and I a lot of people keep saying that, but you don't do that press conference like AG did and talk about how it wasn't the talent, that it was the coaching, right? If you knew it was the talent, right, you would say, we're going to get it. We're going to figure this thing out. Like, just come in here and figure it out, which is what the majority of us were expecting for them coming into year one. That's what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting just to blow it out of the water. I was thinking like 5 to 7 wins if they surprised us. 3 wins was definitely not on my radar in terms of the level of talent that I thought that we had, which clearly we don't have much of it. But AG told us. AG said, "Hey, I got here. I'm analyzing it. Listen, man, this team just needs coaching. It was only coaching. They didn't have the proper coaching. Like, there's so many easy fixes. We're going to get in here. We're going to do our thing. We're going to coach them up, and we're going to be all right." That's what AG said, and that's why I think the expectations kind of elevated, because then we were like, okay, maybe we do have talent on this roster, and maybe it was just freaking Robert Saleh, because we've talked about how coaching matters. We've seen the difference around the league when you've got proper coaching. So I believe them. I believe the man until you realize that he knows nothing about coaching himself, and he had no clue what he was talking about. Gave Justin Fields $30 million guaranteed, and told us that they were going to be able to utilize him to be our guy. That didn't pan out. Again, I was on board with the shot. I thought Justin Fields has shown progress throughout his entire career. Every single year he's gotten better. But the analytics of Justin Fields is a lot better than the actual performances you see of Justin Fields. It just took a little while for that to register. But, you know what I'm saying, to each their own. And for Reds in the building, I see Bill in the building. What's up, Bill? Sean Mack, Vero. They only re-signed long-term players that are a foundation. They traded for bargain players that fit their mold. They created a massive draft haul and cap room. Look, they did create that massive draft haul and cap space, right? But Vero, you got to ask yourself, man, do you really trust these guys to figure it out? Like, and this is based off what you've seen the entire year. The team quit on Aaron Glenn by the end of the season. Like, they quit. Like, you're not going to tell me that the effort that you saw, and granted, they were outmatched. I understand that, but those guys quit. They didn't show up to play football. And at the very least, what you were hoping from AG is him being the dude that could motivate guys, could get guys going. But honestly, you just saw AG standing on the sidelines, man, getting mad every now and again when they freaking got a penalty. He's not calling plays. Like, he's not doing what is he doing? Like, I see Liam Cohen calling plays. I see Ben Johnson calling plays, right? Why is Aaron Glenn not calling plays? Like why your defense is trash. You came here as a defensive minded head coach, right? Like, that's what got you into the building. Why aren't you taking charge of the defense? Why aren't you calling plays? If Ben Johnson can call offensive plays and Liam Cohen can call offensive plays, why aren't you calling defensive plays to get this crap to get an interception? To dial something up that puts your guys in a position to get an interception. Instead, it's the laughing stock. It's the worst defense of all time. I was like minus 128 point differential, like something ridiculous, something like that. Like, make it makes like nothing about what we've witnessed this year, Vero. And again, it sucks being negative, man, but the guy is lost. The guy is truly lost. Like, the hope we kind of have now is that they bring in some adults that can coach, right? Like some senior offensive consultant and a legitimate defensive coordinator, right? Like, you're hoping that he brings an adult in the building to where we can at least watch something respectable next year. But if I'm being honest with you, man, I don't think AG makes it past week 8 next year. I think by week 8 he's getting fired. And now the question is the regime coming in after him a fan of Dante Moore? Do they like somebody more in the coming draft, which would make a lot of sense because there's some potential studs coming out of that draft? Does that limit the options we might have at potentially grabbing a coach? Because now we're down some assets. You go from the 5 first-round picks, which is an appealing, draw, to just the 3, which, again, still appealing. I'm not pretending like it's not appealing, but it changes things, right, in terms of the value of a coach you can bring into the building. I feel like we're wasting an opportunity right now where things have lined up for the Jets beautifully. The New York Jets right now, for the first time that I can ever remember, they don't only have the draft capital, but they also have the cap space. Like $300 million to spend over the next 2 years. 5 firsts, 3 seconds. That's a huge haul. And if I'm a coach in the NFL, looking for my next, for the next gig or opportunity. And I've been on board as saying, like, I think Clint Kubiak or Jetfish should be the individuals that we bring into the building. I should do a whole show about those guys, man, because the amount of research I did on the benefits of potentially a Jedfish or a Clinton Kubiak, I believe those two are going to be the next great head coaches in the NFL, right? And Clint Kubiak's getting calls already, which really sucks because, man, I just feel like you look at this arsenal and you can go ahead and draw one of those guys. Now, granted, Woody's going to have to pay a premium, right? Because of who he is, because of the owner. But you got these assets where you can go and you've got some talent. You've got the offensive line figured out for the most part, right? You've got the wide receiver one. And again, AD Mitchell and Mechie, I think they can go ahead and elevate themselves to that 2-3 role. But why, when you've got the assets to go and get yourself a number 2 or a 1B to Garrett Wilson? Like, there's a lot of things to like about what you can do with the team, with the amount of assets that you have. And if you're given like the amount of control necessary and Woody pays you a check and just goes away. So that's why I think I'm more upset about the fact that we're not taking advantage of this opportunity, specifically with some of these big names that are coming out right now. That, I mean, my gosh, man, that would be great additions. But John Harbaugh could fix this team. Honestly, I think Stefanski could fix this team. I think those two individuals, they come into the building and immediately you've got adults in the building that can fix this team. And to not make the call, that to me is where I'm upset. Is to not even make the phone call or ponder on it. The Miami Dolphins called John Harbaugh's representation. They got McDaniels still on their contract. And McDaniels achieved significantly more in year one and in this last year than freaking AG has. But they made the phone call. And we don't even entertain it. It's like we embrace mediocrity. Like it's just Woody loves mediocrity, bro. Like there's no other way to go ahead and discuss it. It's just to not make the call to me. That's where I realize like we're in a situation where we may never get out of it, or at least not in the immediate future. Man, bro. Okay. Well, Miguel, I see you doing your thing again, brother. I got to go ahead and take a break here and give a shout out. Miguel Padilla, yet again, man, doing the big boy thing, gifted 5 memberships. And Jets Worldwide, congratulations, you got a membership. Hate Hate Scout received the membership, man. Congratulations, I appreciate you, man, for logging in. Brian, you got a membership. D-Van, you got a membership. And, of course, X The Guilt, you've got a membership. Again, compliments and thanks to Miguel Padilla, brother. I appreciate that, man. Nothing but love. Appreciate your support for the channel and appreciate you gifting these memberships to our fellow Jets fanatics. So I do have a giveaway that we're going to be doing, and I wanted to do it today, and I want to apologize because I'm currently fasting right now, and I'm on day 3 of a 7-day fast, and I did not prepare the giveaway freaking stuff I needed for us to do the giveaway live. And I don't want to do a giveaway where I just pick something and you guys don't see it happen live because that's not fair to me. And I want y'all to go ahead and see it spin again. Every Fire Team member from last month and this month are automatically entered into that giveaway. So again, shout out to Miguel Padilla because he gave you guys all a automatic entry into that giveaway. And so I didn't have the setup done yet, but I'm going to do that now. I could either do the Sauce Gardner autographed jersey, which I don't think many people would want since he's going to go with the team. But if he's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Or we're going to go ahead and do a current player on the Jets roster. But again, you're automatically entered. I apologize for not getting it done. I've been fighting the hunger and the frustration of not eating all day. My energy might even seem down. If you're asking about it, this is why. This used to be a lot easier when I was in the military. Like these fasts were nothing. But I mean, now I'm a big back. I eat what I want, enjoy what I want. I just go lift, you know what I'm saying, to go ahead and keep myself at bay. But it's the beginning of the year. Had to do my 7-day fast. And it's a discipline thing, right? So here I am fighting a good fight, going into day 4 tomorrow. And then, man, Monday can't get here fast enough. But so again, Miguel, I appreciate you. And I haven't forgotten we're going to be doing that giveaway. And I should feel much better next week. And I'm going to prepare it over the weekend so that way I have it all set up already in the studio so we can go ahead and get that thing taken care of. Snowball got it like that. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see here. Infrared. Oh, nah, but I could see a huge tax breaks for Lamar, and Tua is done. Beats drafting an unproven hardball win. So, like, I've seen a lot of individuals talk about trading for players too, right? Like trading for guys like Lamar or Joe Burrow. You're hearing a lot about Kyler Murray as well. And I'm torn on it because I understand the amount of assets you'd have to give up in order to bring one of those guys in the building. I think Lamar was in a great situation for himself with the Ravens. I don't know if it gets much better than that, right? But again, maybe that's just me being pessimist because I don't believe in this coaching staff and I don't believe in the roster. You look at a guy like Joe Burrow, he'd have a better offensive line, but the weapons he's got at his disposal, and with the Bengals and the coaching, I think is definitely to the benefit of him. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I wouldn't take either one of those guys. I'm not foolish enough to believe that they wouldn't give us the best chance to win. But how much are you willing to spend? Like, I'm kind of curious. Like, if we could get Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow, how much are you looking to spend to bring that guy into the build? Like, one of those guys into the building. Like, are you willing to give up 3-4 first round picks? Are you living do the 2 and the 2 seconds from this year? Like, what is the price point for you to go ahead and give up and bring in a guy like Lamar Jackson, bring in a guy like freaking Joe Burrow? Again, studs. I think they're studs. Now, the injury concerns over the last several years for Joe Burrow, obviously an issue. Lamar Jackson's getting up there in age, and for his play style, this thing kind of happens a little bit where, what I'm saying, the injuries are going to come. So take that into consideration too. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. Paul O'Brien asks us, do you think Glenn's ego will affect his new coordinator signings? He seems a little unsure of himself despite his early bravado. No, that's fair. And that's a very, very good observation because I've said the same thing. I think that he came in hot. And he came in. He was trying to imitate, in my opinion, a lot of Bill Parcells. But Bill Parcells already had the resume, right? Like Bill Parcells didn't. He had the resume, but I felt like freaking you saw AG trying to be that guy, right? Just like he's been here forever and he's won a lot. But I do believe we're going to have a hard time finding some new coordinators, and not just because of AG's bravado, right, or lack thereof. I think it's because they know he's coming in. He's going to be on a hot seat. Think about it, right? Are you going to tie? Your career to a guy that you know is going into this second year already on a hot seat? Like AG will not be here a full season next year if he doesn't go ahead and show results. I really believe that by week 8, if they just haven't won at least 3 to 4 games, that the talk's going to start happening, and AG might not see it past week 8. I don't know if Woody's going to be able to. I think what's going to happen is I think us as a fan base, we're going to stop going to games. I think we're going to stop going to games. I think the majority of us are going to be so pissed off at what we see early on. We're not going to, like, I'm not paying to go to any games until I see what they're going to put out there next year. I say that now, but again, closer to the season, I might go ahead and be like, I'll go to a couple because that's just how I am. Love the team. But I don't know if AG makes it. And because of that, I think a lot of coordinators are looking like, I'm not going to tie my ship to this freaking, this anchor, especially if he might not be there. So I think we're going to be very upset with some of the options willing to come work with and or for AG. Good question, Paul. But I think that's going to be a problem for us. We're not going to be excited. I don't think we're going to be excited about the hires that they make. They might shock me. I hope they shock me. I would love that, right? But I don't think that's going to actually be the case in terms of good options, like good options, right? Willing to tie their themselves to this anchor or the ship that is the AG ship. Bill says Woody has no clue, Gunny. He doesn't, man. He's oblivious. He's a guy that I mean, when you're listening to your kids who get their football knowledge from playing Madden, that's a problem. That's a problem, right? And Woody's going to continuously be the reason why this team struggles to climb themselves out of a hole. One, he's not bold enough to make the big boy decisions. Robert Kraft fired freaking Mayo last year, brought in freaking Vrabel. You got um, uh, the Raiders firing. I don't know how much of that was Tom Brady though. That could have been a lot of Tom Brady, but I digress. Nevertheless, 1 year you're firing a Hall of Fame coach because you realize like, nah, dog, you ain't it. You ain't it. That takes balls. That takes balls. And these guys don't care about the money. They're all about the legacy. They're all about the legacy. They care about winning. They care about what they want to be Hall of Fame owners. They want to be Hall of Fame owners. Woody doesn't care about that. Woody cares about the bottom line. This is the same guy who's sending us freaking, the price for the season tickets for next year, upping the price when this product we've been paying for has been shit. It's been shit year in and year out, and we've paid it. We've paid the ticket prices. We paid the season ticket prices. We paid the freaking the beer price. We paid it, but at this point, you saw a lot of individuals not go to games towards the last month of December, and a lot of individuals already came out and said they did not renew their season tickets. Good. I think for a guy like Woody, since he doesn't really care about football, it's about the bottom line for him. I think we need to start making him feel it where it hurts him, which is in his pockets. Hopefully enough to where he decides he wants to sell the team because he's a trash owner. Woody does not care about being a Hall of Fame owner. He does not. And you can tell. You can tell. And if that's the case, then this is a guy who's trying to find any way to make a buck or keep a buck. And that's the reason why you keep AG. You're a billionaire, but that 10 mil is gonna, 10 mil a year is gonna really hurt your pockets because that's why you keep AG. You don't keep AG because you believe he's the future. You keep AG because you're like, nah, it's a financial decision. I don't really want to go ahead and wind up paying for another financial decision. Cool. I mean, that guy doesn't care about winning. What can you say about it? Basketball guy playing video games courtside. I like that. Just Worldwide, don't even say his name, Gunny. I'm not sure whose name am I supposed to say, but I probably already said it, and I apologize if I did. I said about this on the inspiration for the season. What I said above is the explanation for the season. Armando and Padilla. If we let Tom Brady get his hands on Mendoza, I'm going to lose my shit. We're fucking doing, bro. Look, Mendoza's going to the Raiders. Mendoza's going to the Raiders. Now, the only way Mendoza doesn't go to the Raiders is if Dante Moore just somehow goes lights out, right? Lights out, plays well, beats them, right? He wins the championship. Now, knowing Mark Davis, I can see him wanting to go for the flashy, freaking like the high ceiling guy. Like Dante Moore, apparently everybody believes he has a higher ceiling. I again, I don't. It's Oregon. I feel some type of way. I'm biased, so I'm not going to pretend like it ain't my. I just don't trust Oregon quarterbacks. But people believe he has a higher ceiling than freaking Mendoza. He's got better physical gifts than Mendoza. I would say Mendoza doesn't have the best physical gifts, but the guy has the character. He has the football IQ. He can see the field, and that to me matters. We've done the big arm guy before. It hasn't panned out. The NFL has done that before. It doesn't pan out. The guys who can go ahead and read a defense, get the ball out quickly, and lead. Really doesn't go ahead and buckle under pressure. Those guys win. I think Mendoza's the guy. I think the Raiders are going to get Mendoza, but there is a realm to where Mark Davis does the Mark Davis thing, and Dante Moore shows off in the playoffs, and he wants Dante Moore. Now, whether or not Tom Brady can rein him back in and kind of bring him back to reality remains to be seen. But if I was a betting man, there's no way Mendoza is not a Raider. And sorry, Infrared, that's going to suck because that means he's got, Tom Brady looking over his shoulder trying to go ahead and tell him, how to play the game. Again, I was doing mock drafts at the end of September. I mean, it took me a little while this year. I didn't do my first mock draft until it was November, towards the end of November, after Thanksgiving. I did my first mock draft. Just for a while, I can't wait. We get good and we'll be monsters to the media. Look, when the Jets get good, again, bandwagon fans are real. That's a real thing. The Patriots, predominantly bandwagon fans. The Chiefs, predominantly bandwagon fans. The Rams, bandwagon fans. We're different. We're a fan base a loyal fan base of one of the worst teams in sports, not just football, in sports. 15 years and counting, right? It's gross just how bad our team is. And look how we show up. Whether it's social media, whether it's content creators, whether it's look how we show up. If the Jets start winning, I think the influx of revenue, return on investment that the NFL is going to get from Jets fans, to include the fake ones coming out of hiding, to include bandwagon fans who just want to be a part of winning, right? It's going to be hard to go back. You're going to have to give us the Patriots type of treatment, because it's going to be hard to go back, because we're going to make you money. We're going to be monsters to the media, is right. You said that beautifully. That's worldwide. It's going to be tough, because we're going to have the receipts. We're going to cook a lot of these individuals, and we're going to go at them hard, whether it's on podcasts, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitter or X. It doesn't matter. We're going, and it's going to be tough. But they did this to themselves. We're just biding our time. We're just biding our time. We're just hoping at some point in our lifetime we get an opportunity to really clap back, and it means something. And Fred then just trade Garrett Wilson to the Raiders for some picks. Don't do that. Don't do that, Miguel. Why are we even trying to put that into the ether? Garrett Wilson today, man. Another reason why I love the kid. I don't know if y'all saw this, but like the Stephen A. Smith retarded freaking post that he had earlier today. Yeah, Garrett Wilson literally tweeted underneath like the first take freaking post, talking about how some busters and squares, what I'm saying, are really on ESPN. Used to be a good show, but that's why nobody watches it no more. Like, he said his thing, held his ground, right, in regards to Dante Moore shouldn't come here. And Garrett Wilson is the leader on this Jets, man. This is a guy he's one guy that I feel like we can go ahead and hold on to in excitement, because other teams want him. So we got that dude, right? We got one of those dudes. And on offense, man, if we're really being serious, like the Jets really shouldn't be that bad, right? Again, the quarterback matters, but Garrett Wilson is a number one wide receiver. Brees Hall is a number one running back. That offensive line is legit. Like, we got an offensive line. Membu balled out in his rookie season. He's only going to get better. The quarterback might be able to go ahead and put this offense at least on the map. Can the defense the defense it was just so bad, man, how much everybody regressed on the defense side of the football. I know they played a bit better after we traded Quinnen Williams and traded away Sauce Gardner, which makes zero sense to me, but nevertheless, you saw some progression. In my head, I want to believe that the team isn't far away, but the team is far away, bro. Like, until we get the coach right, it's going to be a problem. And I don't think we have the coach right, and I think that's why we're going to go ahead and be stuck in this continuous cycle of purgatory, because we didn't make the big boy move, we didn't make the adult move, and told AG, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate the fact that you wanted this job so bad. We appreciate the fact that you told the Patriots, you know what, you're not interested in taking their freaking interview. Cool, that earned you, my guy. Head coach is a very difficult position. Not everybody can do it. There's only 32 of them in the world. And it's okay that you're not one of them. You're a coordinator. That's fine. Not everybody can be a head coach. That would have been the adult. That would have been the grown-up thing to do. Like, if Muji was an adult, grown, he would have had that conversation with Woody. I'm sorry, not with. If Muji was an adult, he would have gone in there and talked to Woody, and then talked to AG. Like, my guy, it's not going to work. And then we go get a real coach, which lets me believe that Muji might not be. It definitely is the Aaron Glenn show. Muji's tagging along for the ride, which, again, I don't like, because I don't trust AG anymore. The AG hasn't shown me anything to really trust and like about him. Whereas Muji, you got his Briggs, you know what I'm saying? You got Harrison Phillips. Brownlee was a nice addition. You were able to finagle A.D. Mitchell on the Sauce Gardner trade. Like, there's things you look at and you're like, all right, you turned Sauce Gardner into 2 first-round draft picks, and they're looking like they're going to be 2 top 18, top 15. I think next year's draft pick will be a top 10 draft pick, if I'm being honest with you guys. But the 32nd overall draft pick turned to the 16 overall draft pick. I'm impressed. I'm not saying he knew that was going to happen or he called it, but like, I'm impressed, right? Like, you're going to get credit where credit is due. Man. Sean goes, I feel like Dante Moore needs more time. He's good, but he's going to get thrown to the fire. 100%. 100%. Dante Moore is not NFL ready. He's not. The kid's gonna need some reps. He's gonna need to put on some weight too, man. He's a little guy, and you're gonna bring him into the building, and he's gonna get broken. You're gonna break him. You're gonna break him because the structure's not there. The coaching, we definitely don't trust. Who's the quarterback's coach? Who's gonna develop this kid? Do we trust AG to develop a quarterback? I don't. And I think that's why you need to bring in a proven veteran if you're going to go with Dante Moore. And Dante needs to sit and hopefully learn for an entire season. But if we're being honest, they're going to go ahead and get their backs against the wall, week 6-ish, week 5-ish, and they're going to have to play their guy because they're going to be losing games because the coaching sucks, and you won't have a quarterback from the options you have coming out this year that's going to allow you to benefit as such, to really have a boost to your offense. So you're going to have to take a shot, and you're going to have to go ahead and bring in Dante Moore, and then he's not ready because, again, one, we don't have the coaching staff that can develop a quarterback. I don't believe we do. And then he hasn't had time to really watch what right looks like, since we're probably going to suck and we're going to get our asses beaten. You're going to see the quarterback taking sacks and just looking dumb. And so that he's just learned, this how to look dumb. So that's concerning to me, man. And that's why I think, yeah, if he comes here, he's going to get thrown into the fire. And then it's going to be another cycle of Zach Wilson to Sam Darnold. And that's where I don't want to see these guys ruin another pick. Yeah, I'm with you, Paul. Steelers in the past lose, I'm happy. My postseason, boom, dubs. I want to see the Steelers. I want my brothers-in-law to be at home with me watching games on the weekends. I don't like the fact that they're in the playoffs. And the Packers are in the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to go too far, so that'll be what it is. But yeah, for me, Steelers and Patriots lose this weekend, I'm happy. Let's just offseason begin. I don't care who's in the Super Bowl. Those two got to go. Actually, I want to see the Bills lose too. Let's get the Bills an L as well. Don't want to see them go to the Super Bowl. And then I'm really happy. Trust the rope, bro. Oh man, trust the rope. Yeah, Stefanski is out there, bro, and that's why I think this whole like Black Monday is worse because some quality coaches got let go. John Harbaugh, man, Stefanski, like those are quality, those are good coaches. You know what I'm saying? One's a 2-time offensive coach of the year in the last 5 years. The other one's a 60% winning percentage, Super Bowl winner, man. Like, yes, this makes it more difficult because of the fact that you've got these real coaching options out there, but you don't make the phone call. You don't even bother making a call because AG is your guy. And I think that's what makes this so much more difficult. If we were to get Harbaugh, Woody would just screw that up in 3 years anyway. Let's be honest here, guys. I don't think so, man. I think a guy like Harbaugh is comfortable in knowing he's that dude. He's got the resume for it. He like a Bill Parcells had a resume for it, right? Like I think a Harbaugh would come in here and he would let Woody know he's the football guy. And he would act like it. I don't think he'd be able to push him out. If Harbaugh was to leave, it would be probably because this team was hopeless in terms of talent, or maybe he's ready to retire, right? Maybe Woody would annoy him out of town, maybe, but I don't think Woody would be able to really tell him what to do because Harbaugh knows what right looks like, and we clearly don't. And he'd be the kind of guy who would have the balls to tell Woody that. Wasn't enough for the Steelers, but I'd sure love to have Mike Tomlin right about now. Wouldn't we all, though? Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin gets fired. I think if Mike Tomlin loses this thing one and done, this is the Steelers' norm for the last, 8, 9 decade, that he gets in and they're out by the first. So I think there's a chance that Mike Tomlin is still another coach to get fired after the playoffs. All right. One thing that's what's bothering me is why we can't have a traditional. Paul goes, one thing that's always bothered me is why we can't have a traditional infrastructure like everyone else. It's because it's Woody, bro. I'm telling you, the more you look at it, everything goes back to Woody. Everything does. Every issue, every downfall the Jets organization has come back to the fact that Woody somehow, some way has had his hands where it shouldn't be, has his kids giving advice where they shouldn't be. Like Woody Johnson has been the catalyst. He's been the problem. The Johnson family has been the problem. Like sell the team. Sell the team. You don't care about football. You care about profits. Sell the team. You could overcharge somebody. Somebody will buy the team, man. It's the Jets. Somebody will buy the team. And let a legitimate, passionate owner run this organization like a traditional one. And I think you'll start seeing the benefits of that. The team gets better. Until we do that, I really believe purgatory is the name of the game for us until Woody's gone. He's up there. Woody's gone, or Woody sells the team. Fans in the yeah, the Jets got good. Yeah, nah, fans in the NFL would lose their shit. Um, without question. I think that would probably upset a lot of people, and you'd have a lot of haters coming out the woodworks. But I'd love that for them. I'd love for us to be beating up on good like teams that were freaking like the team, and now it's us, and everybody just can't stand it. Like I don't know what the other fan bases would do if the Jets got good, like they figured it out. AG was right. It is on coaching. Unfortunately, he ain't. Now you right about that. Just for a while, he was right. Coaching is the issue, and we just saw more of that issue in 2025. For the record, I never wanted Fields on a not all in season. What a waste of money. His numbers were worse than Zachy Poo's. I don't were they worse? I don't know if they were. Like on paper, Justin Fields actually looked good for somebody who got hurt and didn't finish games. Let's see what the stats look like for Justin Fields. Okay, Justin Fields on the season. Yeah, nah, that's trash. Nah, that's trash. So 1,260 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception passing. And I don't care about his rushing stats because we know he can do that shit. 63% completion percentage isn't terrible. But honestly, after that was being carried by that Steelers game and then that Dallas game, but never threw for over 300 yards. His best game would arguably be against the Cowboys for 283 and 2 touchdowns. Um, Yeah, nah, Justin Fields is he's a backup. Man, he's gonna be a career backup. The guy is just not he's not a starter. He's a guy you can go ahead and survive to put in for like, in a pinch because of injury. He's not a starter. I think he did better than Zach, but that's not saying much. I'm not gonna argue with you on that one because it's not really saying much. Brian Flores, Mike McCarthy, Cliff Kingsbury, I like all those options. Yeah, nah, and let's not forget Mike McCarthy wanted this job a little while ago. All right, gentlemen. It is 2100. I got work in the morning. We're gonna be doing that giveaway next week. I'm gonna make sure I have everything prepped for that so we can do the giveaway again. Shout out to Miguel for dishing out those 5 memberships. Again, we're gonna be doing the what would be the fourth annual fantasy football league for the New York Jets situation report. Again, if you know, you know. So obviously you be getting those invites. If opportunities arise, I'll be putting links into the chat come next season. Again, it's free to enter, right? It's just a bunch of Jets fans pretty much doing a fantasy football league. And then in the end, the champion gets an autograph memorabilia compliments of the New York Jets situation report. So again, I appreciate all you guys for chopping it up with me, man. And for, I mean, again, the Jets are horrible. And here you guys are chopping it up in the hangar, talking Jets and just I mean, again, this is therapy for us. This is therapy. Um, so infrared goes Garrett Nissimir from LSU, accurate pocket passer with good arm strength, often projected day 2. Cade Klubenak, Clemson, mobile dual threat with upside. Some mock him in the early mid second. Yeah, no, there's some options that you feel comfortable with, right? In day 2. I'll be the first to say I still think Drew Aller should be given an opportunity. I think for some reason we forgot about him from last year, just the injury. I like Drew. I like him. I like his size. I like his arm strength. I like his tenacity. So if Drew Aller's available for us, you know what I'm saying, and later in the draft, I think you take a shot at him too. And this is if Dante Moore doesn't come out. I think if Dante Moore comes out, the Jets are drafting Dante Moore. I don't think they're going to go ahead and play around. They're going to draft him. Is that the right move? I don't know, man. I don't know. While you asked, you think they're gonna draft more? I think they go for a veteran. Based off of the Lions' blueprint, I feel like a veteran is probably going to be their number one choice, right? But I think it's gonna boil down to what the asking price is for said veteran. If you're now if Dante Moore comes out, that number 2 overall pick gets way more valuable, right? So if you can do a number 2 overall pick for I mean, I know that's insane. They're not giving away Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson for a number 2 overall pick. But number 2 overall pick, and then, it costs you another first, you know what I'm saying, to get one of those guys because of the value of that number 2 pick with Dante Moore coming out. I guess you gotta think about it. Again, you're not having to develop those guys. They know ball already. But yeah, if I had to bet on it today, I'd say they favor going the veteran route, but the cost of that veteran route is going to be why they wind up drafting Dante Moore if he comes out with the number 2 overall pick. That's where I stand on it. Wild Chew. Nothing really to back that up. Just going off of the vibes. Just going off of vibes. Moore's an experienced coach with our historically bad quarterback development in Glenn is concerning, to say the least. Yeah, no, there's a lot to be concerned about. All right, y'all. I don't know, man. This was I guess a negative, hangout, and I wasn't hoping for it to be like that, right? But like, man, it's you got like a guy like Dante Moore who should be the prize. Like he's a talent with a high ceiling. Personally, again, I don't see the hype, but the only reason you tank like this is to get the quarterback, right? Like you don't do this to not get the quarterback. But then guys like Steven Smith and freaking McShay, dog, like shouting from the rooftops that he should stay in school. It's a narrative designed to keep the Jets in the basement. And I'm saying here, like, why? Like, why? What did we do? I mean, the worst part is the ownership makes them look right, which sucks. But we're a punchline. We're the team that fired a best friend GM and a gym rat coach, and to replace them with silence and refuses to talk to Hall of Famers. If the Steelers lose by 30 this weekend, which they probably will, remember that Rodgers was never the answer, right? Like he wasn't. I've said this. You guys have said this. But honestly, man, I think the answer to fixing this whole thing, man, is at the top. Until the top changes, like we're just circling the drain. We're just doing this thing over and over again. And that's where it gets frustrating because as a fan base, we deserve so much better. We deserve so much better. Man, one last question. I don't think they're drafting Moore due to the fact that they need to win games. Rookie sitting on the bench doesn't do that for you. If Moore comes out, trade back with AZ and draft Arvell Reese. That's an option too. But then you got to ask yourself, who's the quarterback? Like, who's the quarterback, right? Like, you need a quarterback. Like, that you are not going to win games without one. And if it's not Moore, who's the guy? Right. So again, you're probably it makes sense. That logic makes sense. But you got to ask yourself, who's the quarterback then if that's going to be the case. I appreciate you guys once again, man. Jesse, appreciate you, man, for jumping on. Jess Worldwide, nothing but love for you, bro. Appreciate you as well. Everybody in the chat, man, thank you for chopping it up with me. Don't forget, we're trying to go ahead and get to 2,000 subscribers. We're, I think, like 1,900 or something like that, or 1,890 something. I think I got to check the data again. But once we get to 2,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a autographed Joe Namath jersey, and it's going to be a framed autographed Joe Namath jersey. I want to make sure for that 2K achievement, I go ahead and go hard for you guys the way you went hard for me. And I'm going to go ahead and frame it, ship it out to you guys as a thank you. I appreciate you guys. Nothing but love. I hope everything we're talking about right now is proven wrong. I hope this team does figure this thing out. I hope it winds up being just a bunch of hyperbole because we're pissed and we're upset because things aren't going the way we thought they were going to. But again, I also feel like we've seen so much bad football, man, that we know what this looks like. Like we just know what this looks like. And that's where I find it hard to believe that we're wrong in this case. But I digress. That's the show tonight, man. I appreciate you guys. Nothing but love for you guys. I'll see you guys next week on the Hanger and be on the standby for that giveaway next week. Appreciate y'all, man. Have a good night.
I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man.